Okay. All right. So let's see. So for me to actually share this, I would just do like that. And that's good. All right. And I'm going to stop that share. And all I have to do for the walk is share the sound. Oh gosh, I'm not queued up for that. I'm the host. Okay. I figured that's what you were doing. I'm going to check something here. I just want to get my music queued up. I forgot to do that. And then I'll try that. Mm. And it's I guess I have to go with Wolfgang. All right. All right. Hi, John.
There I am.
How are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
Yeah. Okay. There haven't these haven't been busy and well attended, these walks, but Nathan assures me people are looking at the YouTube. So
Oh, okay.
am
It's just
I
gonna be you and me.
It might be, no, I mean, we've got 4 minutes, so we'll wait. And his power is out.
Oh,
Fortunately, without the image or sound, he was able to get us connected, so I'm gonna admit people as they come. So we'll see what
well,
happens. Hi, Dana.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Good.
How are things in your world? Oh, here, I was going to rename myself so we can just know where we're from.
You're right on this.
Mm, all right. Yeah, if you want to do that. Dana, have you been with us before?
I don't think so. I
Oh,
don't,
you're in transit. Okay.
yes.
Do you have a labyrinth
I
with you?
I downloaded one of those little ones that you gave it the link to.
Good, good. And I'm actually, this gives me a chance to mute myself so you don't hear anything. If I mean, I get so few calls, so I mean, but it would happen during this walk is what would happen. All right. And then okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you're here tonight. I didn't mean to ignore you. I was just, yeah, we've got a couple more. This is great. Okay. Um, good. And we still have a minute. Yay. Does it feel like spring where you are?
Me?
Anybody? Yeah.
We're in Florida, so yes.
Okay. How about you, John?
it got up to about 65 today, and I see the little greeny thing sticking up out of the ground, so we're getting there.
Yeah. We're actually not in Virginia. My home is on the Monacan land. I should rename myself yet again. Boy, habit is so powerful, isn't it? All right. So, oh, I'm in South Carolina, and you would think, oh, it's really spring here. No.
Gotten colder. Oh, yeah, I guess the storm moving through.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, here comes another Marianne. So we should have, there's Mary. Hello. And Rose, are you there? I guess you are. I see your name.
Yes.
Good. Yay. And Marianne, I guess you're there too. Hi, Rose. And Maria Baber, are you there? I guess.
Yes, it's Mariah, and I'm here.
Okay, I think you've told me that before, Mariah. I'll try to remember. All right, so good. Yeah, everybody who. So I'll try to admit people as they come. Thanks for being here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and share my screen um, so you can see. Does everybody have a labyrinth? I see, Rose, you have one behind you. I assume you have one you can walk with your fingers.
Yes.
Um, And Nathan was going to be with us, and he his power's out. So fortunately, he got us started, you know. But these are places, the veritas.org. If you go there, there's a printable labyrinth for you. Labyrinth Society, I don't think the resources are just for members. I'm not really sure because I'm a member, right? Here comes Penelope, all right. Or you can download the free app, Labyrinth Journey, on your phone. That's what I'll be using tonight. Okay, when we get to that point. Well, I think maybe, yeah, it's time. Should we go ahead and maybe start? Maybe start. I'll try to keep letting people in. But I'm really glad you're here. I was telling John we haven't had a big number of attendees at these walks, and it's well, I mean, it's demoralizing. But Nathan keeps assuring me that we are getting folks on the YouTube, so I keep doing it and trusting him. But I'm really glad you're here, and I'm glad you gave yourself this time. This is the topic, huh? Rebalance, to be present and coherent, to be aligned to ourselves. That's what I'm hoping for. And I want to start this. Now, this is interesting. I'm seeing, okay, I don't know what that is. All right. Oh, there's another person I'll be admitting. All right. Make sure I get my number before we say goodbye. I need to know how many people were here because somebody will ask me that. So let's light a candle. And I think, John, you probably already have. You kind of, yeah, good. And if you don't have one with you, if you are outside or whatever, don't worry about it. I'm lighting this for our circle. I hope. There we go. And I always light it in the hope that this tells us, and it tells the friendly spirits around us, that we're here for the sacred. This is a sacred circle, engaging in a sacred practice, and we're hoping that this brings us some enlightenment so that we can share some enlightenment, some light with our world. So that's what the candle's about, to mark this as a very special time. So I've got a little bit to share with you. It'll be different. This comes from Christine Walters Paintner. Anytime you see one of these Abbey of the Arts, that's from her. I get her daily meditations. And I love them because there's always a pretty picture and there's always a very short reading. This is 2 sentences. It's about connection with community and nature and creation. Aligning ourselves. By aligning ourselves with the rhythm of the seasons, we connect to something much bigger, much larger than just us. We experience a cohesion of time between us and our community, which includes the wider community of nature and creation. But I think Rupert Sheldrake would say it also includes that morphic field, the community of folks who walked labyrinths and who celebrated the changing of the seasons in time immemorial. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're here, and we've invoked the sacred, we've invited them, and we'll do it again. And we're not just aligning ourselves with the seasons, but we're trying to take in the wisdom of the moon with the waxing and waning, fullness and darkness. Everything, at every turn, it seems that nature calls us to embrace both the expansion and the contraction as necessary to the very way we were created. and try to achieve that balance, that homeostasis. And Brian Swim talks about the expansion and the contraction of the universe. So this pattern has been with us a very, very long time. And so we can acknowledge the threshold today that we're crossing over. It's a continual invitation to cross a threshold into a deeper awareness. Oops, I keep doing that because I'm trying to admit people. This is why I don't usually do this by myself. Dawn and day and dusk and dark and seasons each carry different qualities and questions. So as we go through this and as you walk, you might ask yourself, what are the qualities of this spring season for the Northern Hemisphere? Is anybody here from the Southern Hemisphere? Okay, so Rose, you're getting ready for the opposite of spring. You're getting ready for the harvest, the letting go, the releasing. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. So you might ask yourself, not just the qualities, because the qualities are, I've talked to people, oh, it was snowing yesterday and today it's 85 degrees, so the qualities are ebb and flow. The qualities are not constant in this day of global warming. All right, so we are crossing a threshold as we actually do with the labyrinth. And this is a dynamic time. One of the remarkable features of this equinox, this halfway point between the winter solstice, the longest day, the longest night, the shortest day, excuse me, and the summer solstice, the longest day, the shortest night. And this is now equal day and night. It's the balance between night and day. And it's a dynamic place rather than static. In this wavering, we can become fully present to that internal micro movements of our lives. The little tweaks I believe we need to go through every day. We change our vitamins and our medicines, our foods through the seasons, and I think we change our practices through the seasons too. Some of them are tried and true and they are standbys, I know, but other ones we might. I'm working with like 8 weeks during this this different kind of fast. It's an at-home retreat, and we've been letting go of different things, not necessarily foods, but busyness, and embracing stillness. Or different things. It's another book by Christine Walters Paintner that's really quite nice. So if you want, I'm going to try right now, and you can try if you want, if you're comfortable. Probably not you, Dana, because you're in transit, but anybody else who wants to stand up and try a tree pose, and I can talk us through it. And you don't have to see me. I don't know if you will. So standing on 2 feet, I'm gonna move to my left foot up into just my toes and put the left heel against my right ankle. And that's the pose we're going to do today, and try to just do this. This is actually the cosmic consciousness pose from Tai Chi Cha. Okay? But it's a kind of tree pose. If you could get your foot actually off the ground, you can go into more of a balance and go there or there or there. And then we always want to even it out. So now I'm going to go back to 2 feet. And you can take longer time if you want. And I'm going to be up on my right toes, and the right heel is going to be on my left ankle bone. And again, my left hand is a little bit closer to my chest, and I'm trying to keep my arms approximately shoulder height if that's comfortable. If that's not available to you, don't worry, you can be down here. It doesn't really matter. It's just, even as I stand here, can you feel yourself moving just a little bit? Those little micro movements? That's the dynamism that I think is comforting to remember this isn't a balanced kind of thing. Oh, there's my hand, and I really don't have my hand raised. I use my hands and boom, there it goes. So welcome, Christine, and everybody else who's showing up here. So I did want to share this with you. I've been reading this book, The One Story Beneath All Religions: How the World's Traditions Remember the Same Pattern of Life by Maria Garcia. And she says this pattern of life, it's very easy to read, is flow, separation, structure, collapse, and flow. And the system remembers that flow is its home, so it doesn't get stuck or in the collapse mode. Neither is it afraid of collapse. Yeah, you guys might want to be muted for now. Oops, let me see if I can do this. Here we go. And so there are two cycles, and I talked about that first one. The living cycle remembers flow as the home. Like, okay, everything is supposed to collapse the way the leaves, most leaves did during winter, and now they're coming back, they're flowing back, right? But she says we often get stuck in the trauma loop where when collapse occurs, the system, the structure, the religion, the whatever, the institution, becomes afraid and says, oh, we failed. We've got to make that structure tighter. And so they make that structure tighter to control what's going on. And it just keeps collapsing. We're in a loop, the trauma loop. Yes, whoever's not muted, please mute, okay? Because I can't go into my my controls right now and do that. So I always like to talk during the equinoxes. I like to talk about justice in creation spirituality. Matt Fox talks about justice as being when things are balanced, everybody has enough. Justice prevails. It's right alignment. Now, of course, this is from Abbey of the Arts, Christine Walters Paintner, although this quote is from Felicia Morel. Every person on the planet has the right to exist in their own skin and to walk out their journey with the divine in their own way without policing their path based on my agreement with their decisions or personal beliefs. Justice is right alignment. And then I've been reading this wonderful fellow, Stephen Charleston. He's a Native American, Choctaw, I believe. Might be Cherokee, I should know that. And he's a bishop in the Episcopal Church. And I've been reading meditations from an indigenous elder, spirit wheel meditations. And he says justice never bends to fear. And one of my friends, Ellen, taught me, and I think this is true. I had a recent argument or discussion with my neighbor about this. Fear and love don't coexist. So I'm still thinking about that. But he says, help us, O Spirit, not to flirt with forces so ancient and so evil. Rather, let us put our trust in you that justice never bends to fear, nor freedom to false gods of power. And that made me think of what Matt Fox says about I read the book he wrote about the Antichrist and about evil, and about the opposite of evil being the sacred, which is another reason why I always invoke the sacred when I'm in a CSC circle. And another thing Stephen Charleston says, let us walk, all of us together, the paths of days before us, united in our diversity, free in our spirits, confident in the justice of love, finding peace in every step. I thought that was a nice reading to remember before we start walking the labyrinth. So my land acknowledgement, as you may remember, begins by saying that I learned from Diane Longboat that anything important begins with thanks. We're going to start with thanks. And Robin Wall Kimmerer taught me that there's a beautiful cycle of thanks and kinship that occurs. When we start paying attention to the more than human beings around us, then we realize how really we are blessed, that they are gifts to us that we did nothing to deserve. And we start thinking of them as kin, as relatives, and we want to spend more time with them. And I love that cycle. I've gone on record. I think that's just what the earth needs now. So you can stand up if you want to stand up, or just move your arms or not. Keep your eyes closed. But I want to start by saying thanks to the cosmos. The cosmos is our container, is our context. And I'm thankful. It's very, very big and very, very old. And that makes me feel very protected, not very small. It makes me feel in something very special. Thank you, Cosmos. And I look north to the earth that makes my body. And I say, thank you, earth. I look east to the air. I take a big breath of air. Breathe in with me. Oh, in with your nose. Thank you, air. Thank you, lungs. Oh, and the directions associated with what I'm saying, I learned from my friend who learned from her Cherokee grandfather, Judy Shook. And I look south to this self-sacrificing sun that gives us warmth, and it gives us and our plants the ability for photosynthesis. Thank you. Thank you, sun. I look west to water. I say, thank you, water. We can't live without air and water. The bookends, the east and west of our existence. Thank you, water. I look above to the stars, and I remember that the calcium in my bones came from stars in the sky. Thank you, stars. Thank you. And I look down to my foundation, and move your feet up and down a little bit. And underneath, wherever you are, if you go all the way down through some inches of earth and rock, by any plants, you're going to see mycelial systems and roots connected and talking to one another. All this important stuff that's not so apparent and visible. This foundation is below us. Thank you, foundation. Thank you. And then I put my hands on my heart, and you can too. And I think of the soul within me. And I don't know, some people think the soul's up here. Some people think, I think it's near my heart. And I'm just such a tiny part of this great web. And I'm so very happy to be part of it. Thank you. Thank you, Noosphere. Thank you, soul. Thank you, cosmic quantum soup and quantum web. Thank you, plants, for nurturing us and teaching us. Thank you, animals. Great diversity of wonderful animals. Help us smell out the truth. Help us. Thank you, ancestors. And we're going to start with the indigenous people who lived wherever we are, because they kept ceremony and knew the land before we did. Labyrinths are about walking on land, about people together walking on land. And where I am right now, Chief John Glenn Creel is the chief of the Edisto Natchez Crusoe tribe. I'm sorry you've had problems with the colonizers who came to this land. May relationships be blessed. I thank you for the wisdom of your elders and your present leaders and the emerging folks. So here we are. Today we're going to walk with the four paths. And this, because it is a creation spirituality communities walk, this is what I recommend. If you came ready to walk in a different way, fine. If you've never tried this, consider it. I love it. I always suggest moving your hand around, or both of your hands, if you have a big one, around your labyrinth, and just count your blessings. Remember compassion, the compassion of all the beings and people who brought you to this moment, the things we're thankful for and the things that awe us and the things we are just in love with and the things that take our breath away, and the people, not just things. And then as we enter the labyrinth, we're going to release. And that might be honoring our pain on this day where you're getting ready for harvest, Rose, and we're getting ready for growth. And that's all been changed so dramatically because of human involvement and climate change. And we might want to take a few tears about that. I don't know. Or we might just want to more thoroughly work with our breath and our movement and enter the quiet. And then in the center, we want to patiently listen and see, what can we see with new eyes? Just receive any insight, information, inspiration that comes. And as we leave by that same path, we are changed. The season is changing. The season is changing us. The labyrinth is helping us to transform and to transform our world. And we might want to consider, how can we be balanced and coherent to assist justice making in our world? And then we might want to walk around the labyrinth one more time, just to reflect. So I've got a couple more little things to share with you. Not too much, I promise. But this passed across my desk quite recently, and I want to do it as right before we cross the threshold of the labyrinth, as we are all crossing this threshold into a new season, whether it's spring or fall. To enter liminality means dwelling on the threshold in a state of unknowing, openness, ambiguity, and indeterminacy. Our identity and state of being is less defined. It is a time of transition where we let go of old understandings and we welcome in new ones. So that's another question you might want to ask yourself. What old understandings are you being invited to let go? So this is a poem from her, Christine Walter Paintner's brand new book, Everyday Blessings. I have that, and then I'll tell you what our music's going to be, and then we're ready to walk. God of balance, we ask your blessing at this threshold when light and dark are equal. Teach us to welcome both into our lives, to make room for joy and sorrow, for sunlight's shimmering and moonlight's radiance. As the light continues to grow and birds and insects begin their migrations, journeying by impulse and intuition, help us listen to your call to move in a holy direction. Inspire us to celebrate the burgeoning and blossoming of buds all around us as well as within our hearts. Holy gardener, sustain us in nourishing this season, whether it's growth or harvest. Cultivate trust in us that we are changing, we are blossoming, blooming, something the world needs. Harvesting, something the world needs. Let the wondrous colors of creation remind us of the grace in diversity. Ignite our spirits and our feet to enter into this sacred dance of awakening with you. And I have one more thing I almost forgot to read. My friend Amy, who's here with us today, Amy had a walk yesterday on the eve of the equinox. She teaches Kundalini yoga, and she shared this, and I like it because it's talking about the same things, the alignments we've been talking about. In yogic philosophy, this seasonal transition mirrors an inner process, the movement from dormancy into conscious becoming. The spring equinox marks a moment of balance, equal light and darkness, equal day and night. In our own subtle anatomy, this reflects the harmony of the lunar and solar currents that shape our physical, mental, and emotional states. When these forces are balanced, effort and surrender, action and receptivity, when these forces are balanced, clarity naturally arises. Whew. Spring reminds us that transformation is not forced. The earth does not strain to bloom. It responds to alignment. In the same way, our growth unfolds when awareness ripens. When we pause to recalibrate our habits, our intentions, and our inner alignment, we create the conditions for authentic renewal. Authentic renewal. So today, I'm hoping to play these three pieces for you. As you see, they're all equinox. And so when you're ready, go ahead and, gosh, we're up to 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Thank you for being here again. Start your walk, and it'll take us, if I get through all three of those, 6, 7, maybe 8 minutes. That's a good amount of time. You can kind of plan it that way. Have a great walk. So I've used this poem before to wrap things up. It's by Nancy Wood in the book called Shaman's Circle, and she calls it bringing the buds to life. Listen, in the earth, the seeds are stirring and making noise, like the birds whose song has been silenced by winter. Now the snow is being devoured by Sun, our elder, and in the branches, the persistence of our prayers is bringing the buds to life. The persistence of our prayers is bringing the buds to life. So what I'm going to do is blow out our candle since the ritual part is over. But before I do, I'm taking the light into my mind and into my voice, into my heart. So when I blow this out, the light, we're going to share it. We're going to share it with any of the besieged people, because there are so many of them. This light, I'm sharing it with the Middle East, with Africa, with Latin America, with Asia, with North America, with Europe, with Antarctica and the Arctic. So this is our time when we can share. I'll spend the last minute promoting a few things that are coming up for us, but we're a small enough circle where you can certainly just kind of unmute yourself and share if you have any, if you received any insight or inspiration, or if you have a question, or if you have anything you want to share that you gained, that you gleaned from this practice this afternoon. Bye, Dana. Maybe as you're thinking, maybe this is the time I should do a promo. The next Labyrinth walk will be on what I grew up calling Holy Thursday. It's a Paschal walk, and it's celebrating that life, death, rebirth cycle that all of life goes through, that we're celebrating in the seasons, certainly. That'll be on the first Thursday at, is it 4 or 4:30? Let me see if I can tell you that. It's one or the other. 4:30. It says 4:30, so I guess that's when first Thursday is. Of course, on Sunday, that would be what we call Easter Sunday. Lots of people. There'll be the first Sunday ritual. All of those you can sign up. You got here, so however you got here, you can get to those the same way. Go to the calendar and register for the link. And Theodore Richards is teaching a class that starts in April. I think it's after Easter. I want to say it's, it's the 9th for 5 weeks. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about reimagining. It's about what is a worldview. That's a cosmology, and what is ours, and if we think we're going through an apocalypse, well, what are we making? What are we visualizing? What are we imagining on the other side of the veil? Bye, John. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you came. Good, Mariah. I recognize many of your faces, some of your names, and I don't even know exactly where we've met, but I know I've met many of you before. Anybody have anything to share? This is my friend Amy who sent that lovely yogic quote. Thank you, Amy.
Well, I would just like to thank you, Marianne. I didn't have any major revelations or anything, but it was beautiful. It was a beautiful, peaceful walk, and it was lovely to reconnect. For it's almost 30 years since I did a 2-year course with Matthew Fox in Creation Spirituality in Oakland. So it's just a little community that I was very much a part of, and then, life takes you in a different direction. So I'm very, very grateful to you. So Mila Buekas, 1,000 thanks, Oscuelga.
Are you in Ireland?
Yes, I live in Tipperary.
I'm so glad you joined us, Mary, and don't be a stranger. We have lots of if you go to the calendar,
Yeah.
We've got a lot of free offerings, whatever you're looking for. And if it's not there, let Nathan know. He's the contact at CSC,
Okay.
CS, because we want to, we always are listening. Friday, a week from today, Penny Andrews and Mark Steiner will be doing the community of practice. I think the calendar just says COP. Have any of you gone to the community of practice? It started a year ago, so it's been going on a year. And it's Penny and Mark do it. The 4 paths of creation spirituality are very much aligned with Joanna Macy's work that reconnects. And so they do it that way. So it's very much a 4 paths kind of 1-hour session, talking, sharing. You don't have to bring anything. There's no preparation. You come right with an open mind, an open heart, ready to share your thoughts. Yeah. Thanks for that, Mary.
Thank you very much, Marianne. I'm just sort of vibrating here in a nice little buzz.
I hope that's good, Marianne.
It's good. And the music and my walk in the labyrinth ended exactly at the same moment. I thought that was kind of nice.
Amazing. Yeah.
Mm.
Good. Thanks for being here.
And I like how you spell your name.
Indeed. Well, I do these walks for CSC on each of the 8 Celtic holy days. So the next Celtic day will be Bealtaine, May 1st. But I'm doing the Paschal walk in April as just an extra little one. So that's a cross quarter day. Then there'll be a usual. Sometimes we don't do a summer solstice because I can't get anybody to do it for me if I'm gone. But I think I'll be here this year. And then Lammas is in August 1st, and then we've got the Equinox September around the 20th, and then we've got Samhain on Halloween, the end of October, and then we've got the winter solstice. So you've got the solstices and the equinoxes, and then you've got the cross quarter days, that midpoint between a solstice and an equinox. So there are 4 of those.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've been learning about it, just thinking that's an earth-based spirituality. So it fits, in my opinion, it fits with CS. So that's why we do that. I started these on Earth Day, but this year on Earth Day, I'm going to be at the Piedmont Botanical Garden. Yay!
Where's that?
It's in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah. You can come. Where is everybody? So Mary, how do you say your name? Mayan? In Ireland?
Yeah, Meehan.
Mayan. Mm-hmm. Where are you, Marianne Maruska?
I'm in Canada, on the north shore of the St. Lawrence River, north of New York State.
Wonderful. That's a pretty area. Rose, you're in Australia, but where?
I'm in New Zealand.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
We see it very differently. In Christchurch. Yeah, in Christchurch.
Oh, I've been
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I was there.
Since the earthquakes.
I was there. Well, when were the earthquakes exactly? I was there just a day before the terrorist
Yeah,
attack.
yeah.
Mm.
We've just had the 15th anniversary, I think, of it. So we're a city that's been through a lot, but it's a very interesting city, very real people here. Yeah.
Well, that was 2019 when that's the attack I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christine Tibbetts, do I know you from Veriditas? Maybe she's not there. Bye, Penelope. Mariah, where are you?
Central Virginia, between Charlottesville and Richmond, a little to the south of on the near the James River.
Yeah, that's a pretty area too.
Mhm.
We're kind of new. We've been in the Virginia area about 5 years, just about, not quite. Well, folks,
Thank you very much.
you're most welcome. You're most
Thank you.
welcome. Anybody have you feel complete or anything else you want to say?
I just want to say to Mary that I'm going to Ireland in a couple of weeks and to Dublin mostly and Kilkenny.
Okay.
So,
Okay, lovely. Well, great Celtic blessings to you as you travel. Yeah.
thank you.
Where are you, Mary?
I'm in Tipperary, which is sort of
Da-dum,
Midwest.
ba-bum, ba-ba-bum, bum, bum, bum.
What's
That's a song about Tipperary.
Oh, I think that might be a British Army
Oh, maybe.
song.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoops.
People often make that mistake because I guide retreats in Celtic spirituality. And when we have a night, people will always say, I want to sing you this song, Mary. And I think, oh no.
Yeah.
And that's the song out of great goodwill and great spirit. But it's, you don't always know the history of a song.
No. Thank
No,
you.
so, but yeah. But thank you for the spirit that you send it with. Yeah. Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. Well, here, this is where we say bye-bye to everybody, and you can all do that. You can unmute and say bye.
Yeah.
See you. Bless you.
Bye.
Happy spring. Happy
Slán.
spring.
Slán go fóil. Bye for a while.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. And
Thanks again,
Christine.
Marianne.
Yeah, you're welcome, Marianne. Travel well. Travel safely.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye-bye. So I'm going to pause the